everyone, good morning. You're watching a special program tracking COVID-19 this Tuesday morning, and over the course of next half an hour, we'll get you all the news related to COVID-19. In fact, the cases across the country and the world is concerned. But first, let's in fact get you all the updates on that. And total number of active cases of COVID-19 in India stands at 14,759. The death toll goes up to 590, while 3,051 patients have fully cured and discharged. No new cases of coronavirus reported from 59 districts in the last 14 days. The lockdown relaxations begin in parts of the country as per guidelines of the Home Affairs Ministry. A number of activities begin in the green zones. However, no relaxation in many other states, including the national capital, Delhi. The Home Affairs Ministry advises states and union territories to not exceed guidelines issued for lockdown exemptions. Six central teams to visit 4 states, 2 each to West Bengal and Maharashtra and 1 each to Rajasthan and Madhya Pradesh. The teams to take stock of the ground situation related to COVID-19 and report to the centre. Prime Minister Modi holds a telephonic conversation with the Maldivian President Ibrahim Mohammed Solih. The two leaders apprise each other of the current state of COVID-19 in their respective countries. The Afghan President Ashraf Ghani thanks Prime Minister Modi for India's help in the fight against COVID-19. World Health Organization warns without national unity and global solidarity, the worst is yet to come in terms of COVID-19. The World Health Organization says many developed countries are putting wrong conclusions, describes COVID-19 as public enemy number 1. The US crude oil prices rebound above zero a day after futures end in the negative territory for the first time in history and touching the lowest ever in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. The US benchmark WTI oil price had closed at minus $37.63 per barrel on Monday. The global cases of COVID-19 infection continue to spiral up. The confirmed cases cross 24,75,000. The death toll crosses 1,70,000. France becomes the 4th country after the US, Italy and Spain to have recorded over 20,000 deaths. US President Trump to sign an order to temporarily suspend immigration into the US. And at the start of the show, let's first take a look at the COVID-related developments in India at Ground Zero. The Union Health Ministry in its latest information has said that there are a total of 18,601 confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country, out of which 14,759 are active cases, while 3,251 patients have recovered and are back home. Due to COVID-19, 590 persons have died till now. The government is making all the efforts to control the COVID-19 cases, and that's why people are being told to remain and stay in their homes to contain the spread of the COVID-19 infection. And while India has made great progress in the war against coronavirus, first in the area of anticipation and then in the area of control, the government has taken all the measures to contain the spread of the virus. The lockdown has been one of the most effective measures in containing the spread of COVID-19. In fact, the doubling rate in the country has risen to 7.5 as compared to what existed prior to the lockdown, when the doubling rate was at 3.4. In fact, some states have done a much better doubling rate, and these states are Kerala's doubling rate at 72.2 days, while Odisha at 39.8. Also, the doubling rate in Ladakh is at 26.6 days, Uttarakhand also at 26.6 days. That's followed by Assam at 25.8. Now, Chandigarh has a doubling rate of 25.4 days. Himachal Pradesh's doubling rate is at 24.5 and Haryana at 21. And well, Goa has now been declared COVID-19 free. While these results have been achieved by the constant efforts of our doctors and the government has been vigilant on the issue even before the first case of COVID-19 came to light. Now, partial relaxation of lockdown restrictions have started in some parts of the country while adhering to the guidelines of the Ministry of Home Affairs. The Maharashtra government has given limited permission for economic activities in the state's green zone. All the COVID-19 safety instructions have to be strictly followed during these activities. The cargo services have begun on national highways from Monday, and toll tax is also being collected from them. The toll tax collection was also done on the cargo service in Mumbai, Nagpur, Chennai and Moradabad. In the national capital, Delhi, the officials have started coming to the central government offices as well. They have been asked to strictly comply with the rules and follow social distancing at work. The Lok Sabha Speaker Om Birla said that secretariats of Rajya Sabha and the Lok Sabha have started functioning, taking full care of the safety of the employees. But in the wake of the COVID-19 spread, Delhi and Punjab have decided to not give any exemption. Telangana has become the first state to extend the lockdown beyond the 3rd of May, and with the cases rising continuously, the Telangana Chief Minister K. Chandrasekhar Rao has announced extension of the coronavirus lockdown till the 7th of May. However, the agricultural activities, the work there continues. The harvesting of wheat continues in Ludhiana district of Punjab as well, while following social distancing. Manrega workers are working across the country and strictly following the rules of social distancing. And as per the instructions of the Home Affairs Ministry, the agencies engaged in the procurement of agricultural products, including the farmyard, Agricultural Produce Marketing Committee and the shops of the agricultural machinery are allowed to function fully. The services of people engaged in self-employment like electricity, mechanics, plumbers, motor mechanics and carpenters are also exempted. And the Home Affairs Ministry has written to some states and union territories who are making their own list of essential activities and relaxations, asking them to not dilute the provisions of the consolidated revised guidelines. In the letter, the ministry has asked them to ensure strict compliance of the revised consolidated guidelines and directed all the concerned authorities for their strict implementation without any dilution. The centre has also clarified that some states and union territories are issuing orders allowing activities that are not permissible under the Disaster Management Act 2005 and has also cited a Supreme Court observation to be read as a direction. Now, the centre has also constituted 6 interministerial central teams, 2 each for West Bengal and Maharashtra and 1 each for Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan. And these teams will make an on-the-spot assessment of the situation and issue necessary directions to the state authorities. They'll also be submitting their report to the central government. The situation is especially serious in Indore, Mumbai, Pune, Jaipur, Kolkata, Howrah, Mednipur East, 24 Parganas North, Darjeeling, Kalimpong and Jalpaiguri in West Bengal. The teams will focus on the complaints related to the implementation of the lockdown measures, the supply of the essential commodities, social distancing, the preparedness of the health infrastructure, the safety of health professionals and the conditions of the relief camps and for the labour and the poor people. Now, Maharashtra has been one of the most affected states due to COVID-19 outbreak, and the state government, along with the efforts of the centre, will now be using the rapid test kits to track the virus. Let's listen into more updates from our correspondent Yogesh Sheetal.
On COVID-19 front, Maharashtra Sarkar is all set to conduct 75,000 rapid tests as the central government has already given permission for it. The Maharashtra government has also decided to use hydrochloroquine as a precautionary measure in some areas, basically in red zone areas like Dharavi, where 11 deaths have been reported as of now. But there are some conditions imposed with it, like the medicine will not be given to those who are above 65 or below 15. So there are some conditions imposed there. Also, as majority of cases, more than 70% cases in Maharashtra which have been reported are asymptomatic, so that is also a major concern. The state has reported 4,666 cases of COVID positive cases, out of which 466 cases are newly reported, and also the state of Maharashtra has reported 232 deaths. So obviously the COVID positive cases, the rising of cases are a major concern for the state of Maharashtra as well as for the country as well. With my colleague Bhagsir, this is Yogesh Kumar Sheetal reporting from Maharashtra.
And in Punjab's Aman Mandi, all the precautions are being taken to tackle the spread of the virus. Regular sanitization is being done by the Chandigarh Public Relations and Municipal Corporation in the Mandi. People are also advised to maintain social distancing and follow all the norms during the lockdown. Prime Minister Modi had a telephonic conversation with Ibrahim Mohammed Solih, the president of the Maldives. The leaders updated each other about the current state of COVID-19 infections in their countries. They expressed satisfaction that the coordination modalities agreed between SAARC countries were being implemented actively. Prime Minister Modi was happy to hear that the Indian medical team deployed earlier to the Maldives and the essential medicines gifted by India had contributed towards controlling the spread of the infection in the islands. Appreciating the special challenges that the pandemic poses for a tourism-dependent economy like the Maldives, Prime Minister Modi has assured the Maldivian president of continued Indian support for minimizing the health and the economic impact of COVID-19. Both the leaders also agreed that their officials would remain in touch on the issues arising out of their present health crisis, as well as other aspects of bilateral cooperation. And the Afghan President Ashraf Ghani has thanked Prime Minister Modi for providing consignments of hydroxychloroquine and paracetamol tablets and 75,000 metric tons of wheat. In a tweet, President Ghani has said, and I quote, "Thank you, my friend Prime Minister Modi, and thank you, India, for providing 500,000 tablets of hydroxychloroquine, 100,000 tablets of paracetamol, and 75,000 metric tons of wheat, that the first consignment of it will reach Afghanistan in a day or so for the Afghan people. Thank you also for further commitments to supplying more items, including medicines and equipment, as availability increases in India." In the difficult times of COVID-19, closer cooperation between the allies and the friends will prepare us better to fight this menace and save our people, unquote. And responding to his friend and Afghan President Ashraf Ghani, Prime Minister Modi has said that India and Afghanistan share a special friendship based on the ties of history, geography and culture. For long, we have fought jointly against the scourge of terror. We will similarly combat COVID-19 together with solidarity and shared resolve, unquote. And let's now move on to our next segment and get you news that inspire hope in the fight against COVID-19. So as COVID-19 spread has halted life across the country, several people are working tirelessly on the front line to keep the citizens safe. Sanitation workers are among them. In Uttarakhand, people are expressing gratitude by showering flowers and honor them with garlands. At several places, the police can be seen singing songs to make people aware of COVID-19. And moving on now, Santoshi Manikpuri, a healthcare professional in the Kondagaon district of Chhattisgarh, has been attending to patients even in the 8th month of a pregnancy. Santoshi said that getting to serve the country in a time like this gives her immense happiness and pleasure. She wears this as a badge of honor. So as the entire country has put all its might to eradicating the COVID-19, the spirit and the dedication of a 6-year-old child who celebrated his birthday on Monday further boosted the morale of the people. This Chandigarh boy, Badraksh Singh, studying in the first grade, instead of celebrating a special day the ordinary way, decided to call on the BJP president to donate the money saved in his piggy bank, his personal piggy bank, to the Prime Minister's case fund. He also said that he understands the battle being fought against COVID-19 as told by the television and his mother every day, and he is eager to do something on his part in this fight against the pandemic. And on this occasion, with the help of his mother, Rajni Thakur, Badraksh gave a total of 1,521 rupees to the Prime Minister's case fund via Paytm, and with the promise of inspiring many others for this noble campaign.
सभी को प्रणाम, जय श्री राम। मेरा नाम है भद्रक सिंह काती, मैं चंडीगढ़ का रहने वाला हूँ। आज मेरा जन्मदिन है और मैं अपना पिगी बैंक मोदी जी को दे रहा हूँ और कोरोना वायरस से लड़ने के लिए बहुत सारे पैसे चाहिए। मैं सभी बच्चों को ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि सारे अपने अपने जन्मदिन में अपना पिगी बैंक मोदी जी को दे ताकि हम कोरोना वायरस से लड़ पाएं। धन्यवाद। जय श्री राम।
Well, these young minds, they're the future generation of this country, teaching us all a thing or two. Let's now move on and scan through the developments from across the globe in World Wrap. The World Health Organization chief has said that the coronavirus is a #1 enemy and we need to step up our measures keeping this in mind. He was addressing the press conference at the agency's Geneva headquarters.
That's why we have been urging countries, please, this virus is dangerous. This virus is public enemy #1. This virus is new and which has a behavior of serious contagion like flu. It's very contagious like flu, and at the same time it's very killer like SARS and MERS. It has a very dangerous combination, and this is happening in 100 years for the first time again, like the 1918 flu that killed up to 100 million people.
The World Health Organization's chief has also said that partisan politics and lack of global solidarity are helping to fuel the COVID-19 pandemic. He said the WHO did not hide anything from the US and informed the world time to time about the severity of the virus.
There is nothing hidden from the US. Many countries were very developed, putting the wrong conclusions because they didn't know it and got into trouble. And we warned even developed countries saying this virus will even surprise developed countries. It did. We said that. It will surprise even wealthy nations. We said it, it's on record. Let's stop additional surprises. Let's stop tragedy.
He also said that without global solidarity, the worst of the pandemic is still ahead of all of us.
Then the solution we're proposing, we need national unity. Strong national unity. Everybody fighting this virus. Taking care of their citizens. Taking care of real people. We need global solidarity. That's cemented on genuine national unity. Without the two, without national unity and global solidarity, trust us, the worst is yet ahead of us. Let's prevent this tragedy.
Now, for the first time in history, the US's crude oil future prices had fallen below $0 in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. The price of a barrel of the West Texas Intermediate, the WTI, that's the benchmark for the US oil, had fallen as low as minus $37.63 a barrel. However, the crude oil prices rebounded back this morning after plunging into the negative territory, staying above the $1 per barrel. And the demand for oil has all but dried up as lockdowns across the world have kept people inside. Refiners are processing much less crude than normal, so hundreds of millions of barrels have gushed into storage facilities worldwide. The traders have hired vessels just to anchor them and fill them with the excess oil. A record 160 million barrels is sitting in the tankers around the world. Oil is traded on its future price, and May future contracts are due to expire today. The traders were keen to offload those holdings to avoid having to take delivery of the oil and incur the storage costs. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump has said that his administration is aiming to top up the nation's emergency crude oil stockpile as prices plunge. Trump may also consider stopping Saudi oil imports, and he sees price drop as short-term. And staying with news from the US President Donald Trump has said that he was working with the state governors to make sure that they have the resources needed to ramp up the COVID-19 testing. Trump added that the New York governor, Andrew Cuomo, would visit the White House to discuss the response to the pandemic. At a White House briefing, Trump urged Americans to continue social distancing efforts to curb the spread of the virus, even as protesters across the country demanded an end to the mandatory lockdowns and a quick reopening of the economy. Now, according to latest data by the Johns Hopkins, the U.S. has recorded 1,433 COVID-19 deaths in the last 24 hours. The total number of fatalities has crossed 42,000 mark in the U.S., and the number of those infected in the U.S. now stands at 7,84,326, while 72,329 people have also recovered. However, in California, the doctors at the University of California, San Francisco has begun testing for both COVID-19 and the antibodies in the residents living in the isolated northern coastal town of Polinas. And in a positive news, the medical staff at a northern New Jersey medical center was on its feet and clapping as it marks its 800th patient checking out after recovering from COVID-19. And New Jersey, the state second only to neighboring New York in the pandemic's impact, have reported more than 88,000 corona-positive cases. And US President Donald Trump has also decided to suspend the immigration in the country in the wake of the COVID-19 crisis to protect the jobs of the American citizens. He tweeted this morning, and I quote, in light of the attack from the invisible enemy as well as the need to protect the jobs of our great American citizens, I will be signing an executive order to temporarily suspend immigration into the US, unquote. There, if we can have that tweet up on our screens, we'll just get that from the US President Donald Trump. There you have it, of him tweeting about going to be signing an order to suspend immigration into the US. Moving on now, well, France has registered more than 20,000 deaths from COVID-19 infections, and with that, it has become the fourth country to go beyond that threshold after Italy, Spain, and the US. The pace of increase of fatality sped up again after several days of slowing. And Italy has reported its first drop in the number of people currently suffering from COVID-19 since it recorded its first infection in February. The Civil Protection Service said that 108,237 people were either being treated at the hospital or were recovering at home. The Civil Protection Service chief of Italy said that for the first time, Italy has seen a new positive development. He also said that the number of currently positive people has also gone down. Now, Spain has said that 399 people have died of COVID-19 over the past 24 hours, whereas on Sunday, Spain reported total 410 deaths from COVID-19. According to the latest data, the country has reached 2,210 confirmed cases, while Spain has the second most cases in the world after the US. And moving on now, well, Rafael Nadal reunited with Roger Federer and Andy Murray on Instagram Live. Federer and Nadal reminisced about their hectic schedules of juggling school and training as junior players. So fans logged on to the social media platform for Nadal's eagerly anticipated live chat with Roger Federer. Well, that saw a very different side of the Mallorcan. While Federer said he has been practicing against a wall when not entertaining his 4 children, Nadal said he has not struck a ball since then. So both the legends popped up to share a few minutes of chit-chat about how each is dealing with the shutdown of tennis because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So do watch that Instagram Live there. Of course, you'll be able to find it that at various platforms, that chat between Rafael Nadal and Roger Federer, and also in fact Rafael Nadal later on speaking with Andy Murray. With that, it's a wrap on tracking COVID-19. Thanks very much for being with us.